Today we interview some foreign tourists in Shanghai, ask whether they have encountered some inconvenience during their stay here. Follow us and check their answers.
I'm fluent in Chinese, so there was no inconvenience
Oh, you're
in language.
fluent in Chinese.
在软件方面，对不起，批评一下下中国有时候的国际视野不足，
国际视野不足。
对，因为它国内的规范跟国外的规范大部分不一样，所以外国人如果转换到国内的那个软件，有时候不是很顺。
是的，是的。
Probably the lack of English talking people. Yeah. There's
So how
not
do
a
you
lot
deal
of.
with it?
Well, translator on the phone, you know.
Yeah, all the time.
It always works everywhere.
So do you think there are some unfriendly policies to foreign tourists, or have you ever met some unfriendly people? Or
Don't know. It depends. You know, we think it's just the culture of Shanghai. We don't say it's I don't know unfriendly or something. You know, it's just how to say it. We accept it as a culture.
so what do you think is a culture in Shanghai? Like describe it?
I think the people are quite cold.
Quite cool.
Yeah.
So they'll not smile to you?
No smiling, yeah. Because we are so fair, you know, fair skinned and blondes maybe. It's quite difficult because we're, you know, always looking, always like giving us looks, so yeah.
Because I'm a Chinese language learner, so it's been, especially at first, it's been really difficult because everything is in Chinese, right? So it's also a motivation to try and learn a bit, but it's also sometimes super overwhelming. So I guess sometimes it's kind of inconvenient, but we manage, especially when you have like other people with you and your tong shui, right? And you can manage together.
Do you use Chinese social media like Xiaohongshu or WeChat?
Videos on the Beijing.
Yeah, the wishing videos, and it doesn't matter if it's Chinese or any other language. You just and there's 2 hours. You know. So, but not so much. Just consume, right? Wouldn't like post anything because I don't know what to say anyway. Right?
Language is a barrier, but we were using Google Translate the whole time. But in the hotel and in the streets, people like to help. Only one time we had like a taxi driver was not nice, but the rest it was really nice.
Do you think China meet your expectation? Like,
It exceeds it.
exceeded?
Easily.
How? So what's your
Like, I was expecting it to be a beautiful place, but this is more than beautiful. This is way more than what I thought it would be.
Cool. So your previous idea about Shanghai or China is?
It was modern, but like I was not expecting this kind of modern. I hadn't seen any pictures or anything, so I didn't know what to say.
Something like, to be honest, like speed on the ground. And horn when you want to drive.
Yeah, in traffic.
Yes.
Just a bit. But our country it has like maybe like same. Maybe you come like you have something like that. But I think most of the things is much better than like
But I want to buy a SIM card and I don't find anywhere to buy it. That's just the inconvenience because I don't have internet in my phone.
Do you think Shanghai or China meet your expectation? Like, what's your idea about Shanghai before, and does it change?
They were telling me China is very noisy and the market is a little bit noisy, but the rest of the city is not that noisy. And like from Europe, the idea is like there's a lot of contamination in the air, and I made a stop in Beijing, and I saw that the air was like quite thick, but here the air is quite clean.
So have you ever encountered some unfriendly people or?
Not unfriendly, just sometimes when they keep asking you to go to the store, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. They're very excited. Oh, come enjoy our tea and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, I just want to go watch something over there. But no one's ever rude or mean. It's just, maybe overly friendly sometimes.
Only inconvenience is just we have some difficulties to exchange with people, like they are speaking Chinese, we are speaking English, sometimes we cannot hear properly.
Do you have any suggestions to people who haven't been to China before?
They should come, they really appreciate, they will enjoy. I've already been some places in the world like South Africa, Dubai, but it's very interesting to come also in China. China is very, very beautiful, it's friendful, it's very nice. I can ask them to come also to visit as we are visiting.
Thank you very
So
much.
they need to have, the big problem they have is they need to book for a long time because China is big. We cannot go everywhere in few days or a few weeks, so you need to have your time so that you can move town by town, district by district.
We had a little adventure last night. We went to a restaurant and we arrived when they were closing, but they didn't tell us. So we tried to order food and then they didn't want to give us food. And I think that's the only inconvenience. Otherwise, we had a great time.
Yeah, I think they don't tell you. Maybe they
didn't know how to speak English. They were like a bit like this, but then it just became a bit.
Like with card, you always need payment apps like WeChat or Alipay. So you had to know that in advance.
Yeah.
Like,
So do you think it is more convenient to pay with card or with those apps?
I think if the apps would work for our German phones, that would be easier. But for us, yeah.
In Germany, both works for us, so both is easy. But here, some places they don't accept card and they just have the app, and the app doesn't work. For example, Alipay works for me, but WeChat didn't. For her, WeChat worked, Alipay didn't work. And some of the banks they don't they're not in touch with Alipay and such, so it's difficult honestly to deal with that. Yeah.
So what do you think is inconvenience?
I think it's transportation is a bit difficult because we don't speak Chinese, and then we know that with Alipay there is this transport button, but finding it on maps which metro to take and such, it's always a bit more challenging because we don't have a Google map properly here, so that's a bit tricky. And we would like to take, for example, a taxi, but again figuring out they call you, but then they speak Chinese, right? So you cannot really get a taxi. So that's a bit challenging.
So do you think Shanghai or China meet your expectations?
I think Shanghai is much more expressive than I thought. I mean, I didn't expect such huge skyscrapers. I mean, we know it has skyscrapers, but it's really impressive when you come in.
When you're actually here, you realize, okay, it's always light, it's always blinking. It's like it never sleeps. So
it never sleeps? Okay. So what do you do at night?
No, it never sleeps. The city. Like,
Okay.
something on, and
It's alive and vibrant.